Hi class, in lesson 2.3 you will be investigating factors and greatest common factors. Learning targets for today, you will determine the greatest common factor of two or more numbers. Key terms to look for in lesson 2.3, common factor, greatest common factor, abbreviated GCF, and relatively prime numbers. Please turn to page 70, problem 1, harvest day. Please answer number 1, letters A, B, and C with your group. For number 1, letter A, Pat can assemble 1, 2, 3, or 6 baskets. For letter B, the greatest number of fruit baskets that Pat can make is 6. For letter C, if there are 6 fruit baskets, then there will be 4 bananas, 2 apples, and 3 oranges in each basket. Pat needs to make sure each basket has the same amount of each type of fruit. So she can calculate the greatest number of baskets by dividing each quantity of fruit by the number of baskets. Please turn to page 71 and answer number 2, letters A, B, and C with your group. For letter A, Michelle can organize 1, 2, 3, or 6 teams. And for letter B, the greatest number of teams that Michelle can form is 6. For letter C, if there are 6 teams, then there would be 7 boys and 2 girls on each team. Michelle wants the same number of boys and the same number of girls on each team, so she can divide the number of boys by the number of teams to determine the number of boys on one team, and divide the number of girls by the number of teams to determine the number of girls on one team. Please turn to page 72. You helped determine the greatest number of fruit baskets that can be created and the greatest number of teams that can be organized. A common factor is a factor of 2 or more numbers. The greatest common factor, or GCF, is the greatest factor 2 or more numbers have in common. Please turn to page 73 and answer number 7, letters A through D with your group. For letter A, the greatest common factor of 20 and 40 is 20. And for letter B, the greatest common factor of 12 and 30 is 6. For letter C, the greatest common factor of 36 and 48 is 12. And for letter D, the greatest common factor of 37 and 81 is 1. If the GCF of 2 numbers is 1, the numbers do not share any other common factors. Please turn to page 74. 2 numbers that do not have any common factors other than 1 are called relatively prime numbers. Please answer number 9 with your group. For number 9, one example of a pair of numbers that is relatively prime is 12 and 31. Another example could also be 8 and 9. Neither pair of numbers shares a common factor other than 1. That is why the numbers are relatively prime. Please answer number 10, letters A and B with your group. For letter A, each piece will be 12 inches long because 12 is the GCF of 60, 48, and 72. And for letter B, there will be 5 pieces of blue cloth, 4 pieces of gold cloth, and 6 pieces of white cloth. This will conclude lesson 2.3 on investigating factors and greatest common factors. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.